So number 5 on my list is Eliminate the Dozer faction, the last one on my top 5 list. This is supposedly a really easy mission to S rank, but this actually took me the most amount of attempts, a bit surprisingly. It took me like 7 or 8 attempts or something. You cannot take that much damage to S rank this, and you have to do this pretty damn fast. My weapon choices are probably not the best, because the expensive cost is pretty high with the bazookas, but nevertheless this is the build I go for almost all the missions, or with this exact build I did like 95% of the S ranks. So yeah, I feel like this deserved a spot on the list just because it took me the most amount of attempts to get, but honestly it's not that difficult and it's a 2-minute mission, so so what if it takes a few attempts, because you can just spam the attempts. Yeah, not really that much to say about the mission itself. Just kill everything fast and try not to take too much damage, and that's about it. Use the shield when you go over the cap. If I had this exact same amount but I didn't use the shield and I would be like half HP, it would be an A rank, but the shield kind of carried it to S rank with this attempt. I had like identical attempt without the shield with A rank. And here's the scoreboard, if anybody cares. And off to the number 4 on the list, which is Intercept the Red Guns. This is another mission that I don't think is that hard either. The reason I put it on the list is I tried to do this mission with Gatling guns first, and I just straight up ran out of ammo. I couldn't do it with the Gatling guns because of that. I think on my casual playthrough, when I was just playing through the game, I think I actually did this with the Gatling guns, being like really conservative with the ammo and finishing the mission with my shoulder weapons or something like that, but when I tried to do the S rank with the Gatling guns, and you have to be really fast, like I just ran out of ammo. So the reason I put this on the list is because I feel like this is a really difficult one if you have a bad build or a wrong build. But with this build that I have, 2 bazookas and 2 needle guns, I can just one-shot everything, as you see, and I will not run out of ammo, like it won't be even close. Because I literally one-shot everything except the boss fights. And yeah, the commentary in this video will be pretty much freestyle. Didn't plan anything, I'm just going with the gameplay that I watch. Oh. Just one-shot everything except the bosses, and when the bosses show up, just try to burst them down with everything you have. That pretty much works almost always. Sometimes you need to time your shots a little bit, but usually you can just brute force things with the tank builds with pretty good success rate. And here, if you don't see where the enemies are, well, right now there is no enemies, waiting for them to spawn, but in general in this mission, if you don't know where the enemies are, sometimes they're like hiding behind the stuff in the middle. You can look at the radar on the bottom of your screen to try to locate them, the little squares. The Ice Worm mission, where you need to destroy the big worm, that was, at first it was kind of difficult to me, then I realized that, hey, I can actually see the worm's movement on the bottom of the screen with the little radar thing. Then after that, that became quite easy. And I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit it took me that long to realize that there's a radar on the bottom of the screen, like all the way to that mission. But yeah, Yeah, as you can see, this is a pretty bursty build. The bosses, they just melt away. As long as you hit your shots, they will melt away. And you have the lightweight tank build, so you have quite a bit of HP as well, without sacrificing too much on the speed aspect. So we're not going full tank, we're doing the lightweight tank, so we have some speed and we are quite tanky. And this exact build works getting S ranks in like at least 95% of the missions. What would that make that it wouldn't work in 1 in 20 and there's 59 missions total. So it wouldn't work in 3. That sounds about right, give or take. Yeah, but the really common build is the same one, but just swap out the bazookas with the Gatling guns, and that build works really well as well. And that's it for this mission. Onward to number 3. I have to be really careful not to move my head so my pop filter doesn't fall off from the mic. That's from a different mic, the pop filter, so it doesn't really fit it. And there's the scoreboard. And attack the refueling bases. I think it's actually base, not bases, whatever. This is a really tough one to S rank because the time you need to have, you have to be super fast with this one. And here I actually switched out the bazookas that I really like for the Gatling guns. For the simple reason that these oil tanks, they take like, sorry, fuel storage tanks. Fuel storage tanks, they take like 2 little bursts from the miniguns to get destroyed, or the Gatling guns, and they take like 1 bazooka shot each to destroy, so the ammo cost is really expensive with the bazookas. But like just a few bullet bursts with the Gatling guns destroy them, so you like save up on the ammo. And the less you use ammo, the more likely you are to get S rank. That's like one of the things that the game scores you on. How little your expenses are. And if the mission says that like you get extra rewards based on how many things you destroy, then you get credit for the S rank for how much you destroy stuff. That's why I'm destroying this, and I'm destroying the mechs along the way. Guess they give me credit towards the S rank. And here's a moment that I will daydream a little bit. No need to resupply, by the way. I should destroy these 2 things here on the way. Like I should shoot them now. But for some reason I just drive on them and destroy them. And then keep going. Like I lost a bit of time there. And this is a really tight mission in terms of how much time you use. And you have time to destroy these things like after you do the main objective. It's a little bit of RP before the bosses show up. And I picked the shield thing again. I usually have the passive thing that when you go to 0 HP you get the shield, but in some missions I take this shield that you activate yourself, like here I can tank the first sword hits and it's no problem. Yeah, this is a pretty burst build as well, the Gatling guns. And you probably shouldn't fight on this slope as I do, because I will shoot some of my shots on the slope, like right here, and then the boss doesn't die. I was actually surprised that this was S rank, because I took like half of my HP bar as damage. And I wasn't as fast as I could have been. I had like almost identical runs to this that gave me A rank, so I was a little bit surprised I got S rank with this.
They got their walking advertisement, all right.
I bet if I was even slightly slower or took even slightly more damage, this would have probably been A rank. Or not probably, it would have been. And there's a scoreboard. Off to number 2.
System activating combat mode.
Infiltrate crit 086. Yeah, here when you boost at the start, you should stop boosting behind this cover. I go past it for no reason, and then I take a little bit of damage. And here you kind of want to stop boosting as well, so you don't get hit by that one missile. If you go as far as the boost lets you, that missile will hit you and you will take some extra damage. And here just melt the boss. Unload everything. And remind yourself where you need to go when the boss dies, because this is a really another one of those missions where the time is like of the essence, like really, you have to be super fast. So you want to remember where you need to be going. And here you want the full boost before you go over the gap. And this is another one of those missions where you get extra credit with the more things that you destroy. So I open this door, and while the door is like being opened, I destroy these 2 things to get some extra credit towards the S rank. This second one is a little bit questionable, because the door is already open. And I spent a little bit of time doing that, but it gives 12,800 points, so I feel like it's worth it. And just don't go out of your way to destroy stuff, just what is on your way, really, only destroy that stuff, because you really need to be fast. And here as well, like, open the door, and while the door is being opened, fumble here a little bit, we can destroy like a thing or 2. And here after this jump, don't go in like all the way. There's like stuff hanging in the ceiling, those some fuel barrel things or whatever they are, I'm not sure. They will drop down. One NPC will shoot up there like that, and then some explosive stuff will drop from the ceiling. If you're under that stuff, you will take enough damage that it won't be an S rank, so you need to kind of be back a little bit. And here, when you destroy that thing, the RP will start to open the door, and during that RP, just get a little bit of extra points. Destroy those things on the edge. And here, just skip the resupply. If you need to take the resupply, you won't be getting an S rank, that's for sure. This is so tight in terms of time, and if you need the extra ammo or healing, then it's not gonna be S rank anyways. So just skip the resupply. And here you really need to dodge this first attack. Just fly and then unload everything on the main body. If that first attack hits you and it gets you to like half HP, I had like identical run to this, except I got hit by that first attack and it was an A rank, so really need to dodge that. You can also fly above it and shoot in the chimney if that feels like a easier way to do it, but I just keep shooting at the belly, I guess. I'm sorry if the commentary is not the best, I'm one-shotting this. I'm not gonna edit anything. The commentary will be one-shot throughout the whole video, all 5 things, 5 missions. And that was number 2 and number 1 on my list. Drum roll.
Let me show you the way. Guided towards Cinder Carla herself.
Any day now. Oh yeah, there's the scoreboard still first. Barely over 300k income.
Activating combat.
And Coral Exploit Denial is my number 1. This one took me about as many attempts as the first mission on the list, like maybe 7, 8, something like that. Everything else I did with 3 attempts or less, except the first one on the list and this one. Everything else I did with 3 attempts or less in the entire game. Yeah, I needed to go with very specific build, because I tried to do this with the bazookas and I got an A rank, and I tried to do this with the Gatling guns and I got an A rank. So either the ammo expenses were too much or I was too slow. It's one or the other. And this is a very specific build where these shotguns one-shot these helicopters, and the ammo expense is pretty low. And they're also really light weapons, so I have this super light build. I can fly for a really long time before I need to land. And when I need to land, I get the boost bar like to full almost immediately. Let's see here. Like, it goes up really fast.
Multiple transports attempting breakthrough.
And with this like Omega Light build, you don't really even remember if the helicopters are coming from up or down, or lower altitude or higher altitude at this like last segment, because you can fly up so fast anyways. Just be careful you're not too close to the helicopters when you actually destroy them, because if you take hits from the... if you're too close you will take massive damage from the explosion, so you need to be kind of like mid-distance. Just keep one-shotting them. And I don't even have shoulder weapons here, just so I'm like a little bit lighter. But it would probably be a good idea to have something on the shoulders. But I felt like I didn't need anything on the shoulder weapons and just wanted to be slightly lighter, so I skipped my shoulder weapons completely. Just try to hang around at this little bridge thing. First one or the next one. Doesn't really matter. So you can go to the higher altitudes more fast. And yeah, I don't really even remember if the helicopters like come from low or high like the next time, but the pattern is always the same. Didn't need to do this that many times that I would have completely remembered everything. And I actually one-shot this mission once I went with this super light build with the shotguns. I tried like 7 or 8 times or something like that with different builds, then I went for this super light build and it was one shot. I still put this as the hardest one on my list because this took me the longest amount of time. So that's about it for this video. Not much else to say about this mission. And we're pretty close to the end anyways. So yeah, I would like to do more YouTube videos, but I have kind of a writer's block a little bit, which is kind of ridiculous because I don't have that many videos to begin with, but still have no idea what I would like to do, but this will eventually do something. Just no idea when that is or what it is. So we shall see. Or not, who knows. Anyways, that's the mission. So that's my top 5 list. I don't remember the list anymore. I would have to go back and check it out. So number 1, Coral Exploit Denial. Number 2 was Grit 86. Number 3 was Attack the Refueling Bases. Number 4 was Intercept the Red Guns, and number 5 was what was it? Whatever. You can check it if you really care that much. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. Bye.